Rebecca pointed out, the closer we get to the election, the harder Republicans in Congress are pushing for answers to a big question: what really happened in the attack in Benghazi, Libya last month that killed the U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans? Cheryl Atkinson has been looking into this, and what she found raises new questions about whether the U.S. military could have done more to save the 4 men. She joins us from our Washington bureau this morning. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Anthony. Now some in Congress are asking why U.S. military help from outside Libya didn't arrive as terrorists battered more than 30 Americans over the course of more than 7 hours. The assault launched by an armed mob of dozens that torched buildings and used rocket-propelled grenades, mortars, and AK-47 rifles.
CBS News has been told that hours after the assault began, an unmanned Predator drone was sent over the U.S. mission in Benghazi. It and other reconnaissance aircraft apparently observed the final hours of the lengthy battle. The State Department, White House, and Pentagon declined to say what military options were available. A White House official told us that at the start of the attack, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Martin Dempsey and Defense Secretary Leon Panetta looked at available options, and the ones we exercised had our military forces arrive in less than 24 hours, well ahead of timelines laid out in established policies. But it was too late to help the Americans in Benghazi. The ambassador and 3 others were dead. Gary Burnson believes help could have come much sooner. He commanded CIA counterterrorism missions targeting Osama bin Laden and led the team after the U.S. embassy bombings in East Africa.
You find a way to make this happen. There isn't a plan for every single engagement. Sometimes you have to be able to make adjustments. They made 0 adjustments in this. They stood and they watched, and our people died.
The Pentagon says it did move a team of special operators from Central Europe to Sigonella, Italy, but gave no other details. Sigonella is a large naval air station just an hour flight from Libya. Other nearby bases include Aviano and Ceuta Bay. Military sources tell CBS News that resources include fighter jets and Spectre AC-130 gunships, which the sources say can be extremely effective in flying in and buzzing a crowd to disperse it. Rick Nelson, a former Navy pilot who worked in counterterrorism, says such missions are very risky.
What would be the concerns as they're trying to decide whether to send force in quickly?
A lot can go well, right? As we saw with the bin Laden raid, it was a very successful event. But also when there are high-risk activities like this, a lot can go wrong, as we saw with the Iranian hostage rescue, decades ago.
Add to the controversy the fact that the last 2 Americans didn't die until more than 6 hours into the attack, and the question of military help becomes very important. Rebecca?
Cheryl, this question of diplomatic concerns, as we understand it, also played into this. Sending U.S. military into another country's airspace, that can be a sensitive issue.
That was likely part of the discussion. Sending military into another country can be sensitive and delicate. We can say that we've been told Mrs. Clinton did seek clearances from Libya to fly into their airspace, but the administration won't say anything further about what was said or decided on that front.
Cheryl Atkinson in Washington. Thanks, Cheryl.